Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, evening, afternoon. Today we have the new archetype, Punk, P.U.N.K. And yeah, there's a lot of cards to go through. So let's get started. I think the way I'm gonna do it today, because a lot of these cards, some of these cards require the others to work, basically. I think I'm gonna look at the scripts for the main deck masters first, test them, then do the extra masters, and then do the spell traps, instead of going one by one. So because this game, for example, fusion summons and single summons, so we need to make sure the other monsters work as well, to test their effects properly. Anyway, let's get started. So Sharakusai, pay 600 fusion summon from your hand or field, and then quick effect the opponent's turn, pay 600 single summon. In both effects you need to summon a Punk, and you can only use its effect once per turn. Okay, so let's see. This is the set code for the Punk archetype. Special summon, fusion summon, ignition, master zone, hard once per turn. Cost should be to pay 600. Yep, pay 600. And then it's gonna use the standard target and operation functions that fusion effects use, because it says using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material, so it's basically kind of like polymerization. Doesn't need to do anything fancy. And then the synchro effect. Special summon, quick off, rechain, master zone. Condition is to be the opponent's turn. Cost is the same. And then target function, let's see. Is existing masking card, filter, location extra. And the filter says is a Punk and can be single summoned. Get matching group, single summon. Okay, this is pretty standard. Should be correct. Now let's move on to the next one. Wagon. Pay 600, search one spell, and when your opponent activates a card effect that targets a Punk you control, or when opponent's master targets for an attack, quick, draw a card. You can only use its effect once per turn. So let's see. Hand search, ignition, and zone, hard once per turn. Cost is to pay 600. Yep. And then it just searches a spell, so it should be standard searching stuff. Let's see. Is it listed matching card, filter, location deck, Punk, spell, is able to hand. Okay. The search part seems fine. And then the draw effect. Category draw, quick, become target, M zone, become be battle target for the second part. Okay, what's the condition for the effect targeting? It's by the opponent when your opponent activates a card effect. Yep. And it is exists filter. It's control TP, so you control the target. Activates a card effect targets a Punk. Punk monster you control. So you control it, it's in your master zone. It's face up and it's Punk. Okay. And the battle. When opponent's master targets it for an attack. This is the attack target. It exists. It's the opponent's turn. And you control it. It's in your master zone. And it's a face up Punk. Okay. And then the draw should be standard draw 1 checks. Display control 1. Draw. Okay. That's pretty standard. I'm not seeing any problems. Yeah, okay. It should be fine as well. This one, let's see, Madame Spider. Searches traps, same as this, but search a trap instead. And then when you activate a Punk effect, that targets a card your opponent controls, quick. Target one face a monster your opponent controls, half attack until the end of the turn. And you can only use the effect once per turn, as usual. So let's see. Madame Spider. The search should be the same exactly, really. Just search a trap instead. Yep. Everything else is the same. Okay, so when you activate a P.U.N.K card or effect, targets a card your opponent controls. Attack chains, Quicko. So it's an optional quick effect. Become target. This effect does target itself, yep. Master Zone, hard once per turn. Condition. Reason player is you this time. And the card whose effect is being used is a P.U.N.K card. And part of the target includes a card the opponent controls. What kind of effect targets a card your opponent controls? Yeah, it's on the field and controlled by the opponent. Okay. Condition seems fine. So what does this target? It targets a face-up monster the opponent controls to halve its attack. Opponent controls, face up, location M zone. Is face up M zone. Face up, okay. Seems fine, the opponent's side. Get face target if it's face up and related. Halve its attack until the end of this turn. So resets in the end phase. Okay, so she seems fine as well. And this one, which is a monster. Yeah. Oh, by the way, fun fact about this one, about the name. The Japanese name is actually spelled and pronounced Seamin. Seamin. So a YG organization and Wikipedia decided to keep it the same in the English translated name. The problem is that an English speaker is not going to read this as Seamin. It's he's obviously going to read it as Seamin. So there's that. It doesn't help that it's a little girl in the artwork too. It would be really funny if this turns out to be the actual official name when the card gets released. We'll see in a few months, but I doubt it, to be honest, that the card is going to be called Seamin. But we'll see. Anyway, here effect. Search is a monster. Hand search, ignition, almost per turn. So this is the same, almost. Pay 600. And it says it's a P.U.N.K monster except a copy of yourself. So P.U.N.K monster, and notice code ID. This is make sure that it's not a copy of yourself. It has a different name basically. And the rest should be the same, standard searching stuff. Yep, looks the same. And then if she's sent to the graveyard, target a P.U.N.K monster you control, and you gain 600 permanently. Attack chains, delay, event to grave, okay. Location M zone, you control it. It's face up, and it's a P.U.N.K. Is existing target filter face up P.U.N.K on your master zone. Target it, okay, seems fine. It's not until the end of the turn. But attack 600 and it should not reset in the end phase. So it's a small error. No big deal, but we fixed it. Okay, so she seems fine as well. And this is the final main deck monster. And then we'll test the main deck monsters and proceed with the rest of the cards. Okay, so she has 3 effects, right? If I recall correctly. Foxy tune, level 8. Much better than the schedule opponents must by battle, gain LP equal to the original attack. You can only use it to the following effects once per turn. Deal with 1 P.U.N.K, special card from your hand. And the other effect, send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. If you do special 1 P.U.N.K from your deck, except level 8. Okay. I see. Right, so battle destroying single. Recover once per turn, soft once per turn. BT gun is the standard condition for battle destroying. Let me check. Might need to be BDO con though. Opponent's master. Yeah, it needs to be BD-O-Con instead of BD-Con. The difference being BD-O-Con is for battle destroying an opponent's monster. BD-Con is battle destroying any monster. It's a small detail. But anyway. Gain LP equal to the monster's original attack. So let's look at the functions. Well, it says down, but it's LP actually. But anyway. Get battle target. Base attack. It needs to be more than 0. Makes sense. Set the parameters. Okay. That seems fine. And it's optional, right? Yep, okay. So that effect looks okay. Now, the next one is the special summon from the hand. Special summon ignition hand, hard once per turn. Cost, GP. Let's look at the functions. Check release group cost. Card is set card. Check main master zone. And it's a punk. Okay, that looks correct. Select what you want to release. Okay. Release is the Japanese word for tributing, so that's why it's used as terminology in the function names. It's basically tributing. SPTZ, let's click on special summons. Right, so because of this function, we don't need to check about having free zones. This is going to do the work for us. The point being that if you have room already, you don't need to do any checks. You have room, any extra checks. But if you don't have room, you must tribute something in your main master zone. You cannot tribute something in the extra master zone if you have no main master zones. That's what this function is going to check internally, basically. It saves us a little bit of work. And then operations, special summon it. If it's still related, all good. Okay. And the last effect, ignition from a hand or master zone. Hand this special summon. Hand this because it says send one card from your hand to the graveyard. Hand this is short for hand destruction, so discarding or sending from the hand to the graveyard, stuff like that. Once per turn. Cost is to send yourself. Send this card to the graveyard, yeah. So you get hand is able to Graveyard's cost, send Graveyard's cost, okay. And then let's see, send one card from your hand to the graveyard. If you do special summon one punk from your deck except a level 8. So let's see what's this check doing. Is existing matching card in your hand that can be sent to the graveyard by the effect. Okay, that's a good start. And if you have room, or this card is in the main master zone. So like I said, here we need to do these checks manually. Pretty much, whereas up here we didn't have to because of this function. So you have master zones, or this card is in the main master zone. So if this card is in the hand, you just need to have an empty zone to use the effect. If this card is on the field, it needs to be in the main master zone to send itself and empty out the zone. Or it needs to be in the extra master zone. Now, this card specifically cannot be in the extra master zone since it's just an effect monster. But if you use a fusion monster in the extra master zone that copies effects, that could be a possible scenario. So that's why this check is relevant here. And there needs to be something in your deck to summon probably. Punk, not level 8, can be special summoned. Okay, that looks fine. Operation info hand this one, special summon from the deck, okay, looks good. And then the operation, send one card, and if you do special summon. Okay, so select what you want to send from your hand. To the graveyard, okay. Okay, so if you select something, and you send it, and you discarded it basically, you send it to the graveyard, you perform the action, and you have room. Okay, now here you need to check that it actually ends up being in the graveyard. And the get first is location. Oops. Location grave. Because the point here is that if, let's say, Microcosmos is up. So whatever you send from your hand to the graveyard will become banished instead. So it's not gonna end up in the graveyard, so you don't proceed past the int if you do part. And the thing is, this function, this will be true even if it gets banished, because you did perform the action of sending it to the graveyard. It doesn't care whether it actually ended up in the graveyard or not. That's why you need to perform the extra check here, that it actually ended up in the graveyard after sending it to the graveyard. So yeah, if it does end up in the graveyard and you have empty master zones at this time, and you have something in your main deck to summon with this effect, select what you want to summon, and assuming you selected something, special summon it, and you're done. Okay, looks fine. Okay, so that should be good. Excuse me. Now let's test the let's test these 5 cards, these 5 masters, and then we'll proceed to these. Okay, so he performs the summons. Single summon on Punk. Okay, the easiest way to summon this, he's level 11, level 8. So I think this plus a tuner is the easiest way, because they're all level 3 tuners. Yeah. So I'm gonna fusion summon this with this, and then summon a tuner and synchro. Summon another copy of him and try to sync on the opponent's turn. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So let's use double summon just to get a second normal summon out, and a copy of him. Okay. So these should be enough. Don't shuffle. Let's go. Okay, so summon him. Use the fusion effect. And I'm gonna fuse. Actually, I don't have to summon the second one, because I don't have to use this guy as material for the fusion. I forgot. I could use these. Okay. There we go. And then on the opponent's turn, I should be able to perform the synchro summon. Pay 600. Immediately after it resolves, synchro summon. Boop. Okay. Now this card has some errors, but we'll fix those when we get there. Okay, so he works. We didn't need these after all. Let me put him down here for now. Okay, so this searches a spell, and then when your monster is targeted, you get to draw a card. Now, how do we target it? Offerings to the Doomed is a very versatile card to use, and for attacks, we're just gonna summon something to attack. But we need to put an opponent this time, like so. Okay, so summon, pay 600. I should be able to search the spells, any of the spells. Okay, search. Looks fine. And then when the opponent targets this is a punk, so it works. Let me summon something and attack. They both have the same stats, I just noticed. So if I attack, I should be able to use this. Let's say I say no and target it with this. Again, I can use it. Draw 1. Okay, all good. So Wagon works as well. Now this one. Such a trap. Okay, it's the same, just such a trap. And then when you activate a punk effect that targets, you can have the attack of something. I'm gonna activate a punk effect that targets. We don't have anything so far. Need to target an opponent's monster. Yeah. This does it, but of course, the condition that it cannot be fulfilled by itself. This targets your own stuff only. This doesn't target anything. I guess Summon. You control. I think this target's not the controls. Yeah. This one had the arrows too, though. Okay, let's leave her. Okay, I'll do the. Maybe do one of the traps real quick. You activate a card that targets a card the opponent controls. Okay, let's use these. That just targets set card. I'm not gonna do the whole testing for this, just to test this one. And then later on, we'll check this properly. Target one face a monster opponent controls, half attack. Okay. So we need a set card and we need a monster on the opponent's side. So I'm gonna summon this. Insert a trap. Okay. I'm gonna set this one. And now we need a set card here. Set this. And we need a monster. And the moment I activate this, targeting. Well, if I control punk, I can target anything. Let's say I target this. Then I can chain this and target her and half the attack. Okay, so Madame Spider seems to be fine as well. Let's put this back here for now. So Madame Spider is fine. So we can move on to Seamin. It's the search effect, and if it's in the graveyard, you pump one of your punk monsters. So let me get Foolish Burial. And another copy of Seamin. And we're going to search her, I guess. Foxy Tune. And then mill the other one and boost the attack of the one we summoned. Okay, test hand. Normal summon. Activate her effect. Okay, it cannot search itself. And Foolish Burial. Yes, target 600 up. And it does not reset in the end phase. Okay, all good. So Seamin works as well. So this four seems to be fine. And now that's the last one. That's main deck one. Let's see. Okay, gain LP when it's do something by battle, so we need to summon it somehow, using the second effect probably. Take one punk master spell summon this card from your hand, and then send this and something else from your hand to summon something from your deck. Okay. So let's try the summon effect and the LP gain first. We can do it with just these two. Okay, so let's set the monster. And then I'm gonna do it on the other side. So normal summon, activate, tribute, special summon attack position, no need, and just attack. Okay, we can use the LP gain effect, and we gain 600. Okay, that looks fine. So the first two effects seem to be fine, and then the last effect. Send this card and one other card. Special summon a punk from your deck, so we need some punks in our deck. Let's see. So if I use it from the hand, I need to. Oh yeah, I don't have any monsters, right? So on the field tribute, so I didn't have a choice. So I can send this, a special summon anything that's not her because she's level 8. Foxy Tune herself is level 8. Okay, so that part works. Let me try. So let me see. If I summon this first, I should be prompted to pick spend some of this card from the hand or spend some punk from your deck. Okay, maybe I can try. This string is a little long probably, so it's not doing the drop down list, it's doing the left right list, which is a little annoying, but I'll see if I can shorten it later. But anyway, so I can pick to either summon this to use the second effect or use the third effect. So summon. Yeah, so let's summon her first, and then I want to try and see if use the effect from the field. Okay. Send. Sorry, special summon. Okay. Okay. So all the main deck masters seem to be fine. So let's proceed to the extra deck masters. We're going to need this guy to do the fusion summon. Okay, so let me close these scripts real quick. Right, sorry for... Don't need this, okay. This is the fusion, Carp Rising. Let's see, 2 Punk Masters, we did summon it earlier, so that's fine. Okay, we contribute this fusion summon card, special summon 2 Punk Masters with different names from your hand and or deck in defense position, except the late masters, so except her. And then if a master is single summon using this card's material, target one Punk you control, you can make 2 attacks. You can only use its effect once per turn. Okay. Right, so let's see the first effect. Special summon ignition master zone, 100 once per turn. Condition is that it was fusion summoned. Cost is to tribute itself. Yep. And then, let's see. Hit location count. It says special summon up to 2. So you can summon just 1 if you want to. So you just need 1 empty zone and something to summon in your hand or deck. Needs to be hand or deck, man. Location deck. Location deck. Okay. And the filter says Punk below 8. No, it's not the same. It says except level 8. So, and not is level 8. It can be special summoned in defense position. That's correct. Okay, so you're checking that there's at least 1 zone, empty zone, and there's at least 1 card that can be special summoned from the proper locations. And then when it resolves, you need to pick with different names and stuff. So, get matching group. So G are your punks that can be special summoned from those locations. FT is the minimum between how many zones you have, how many monsters you can summon, and 2, which is the maximum. If Blue Eye Spirit, 1, because Blue Eye Spirit, select and select. The end check is the standard check for different names. 1 to FT. Special summon in defense position. Okay, looks fine. Handle deck. Okay. And then the second effect, be material. If the master is synchro summon using this card as material, so single trigger row, be material, delay, target. It does target, yes. 100 once per turn. Condition, based on synchro. Target, it targets a punk you control. Location master zone, controller you, filter, is face up punk. Face up punk, okay, seems fine. Can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. Actually probably needs a check for whether you can perform battle phase, maybe. Type back, single extra attack, end phase. Let me search. Let me see a different card. Make. It can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. Let's see. Does this perform the check? Second attack. It does not do it. Shark Fortress. Yeah, this one. This guy might need to do it, by the way. I'm gonna note his name down. Is able to battle. Check. I'm gonna note it down for later. Okay, so where are we? Yeah, I need to add this check here to this guy. Over here. Okay. Target, extra attack. Yeah, this part seems fine. Now for because the Synchro material effect requires us to summon Synchro, I'm going to take a look at the Synchro as well. And then test them together, I suppose. So generic materials, okay. This guy is Synchro summoned. Target cards your opponent controls up to the number of level 3 psychic monsters with different names you control and in your graveyard. That's a lot of text. Return them to the hand. Okay. And then you can target a punk in your graveyard except this guy, special summon it. You can only use each effect once per turn. Okay, so revive limits, Synchro procedure, generic materials, to hand, then to the hand, yep. Target, delay, single trigger O. Let me fix the order a little bit. Special summon success, hard once per turn. You can only use each effect once per turn. This needs to be plus 100. So they don't overlap. Condition is summon type Synchro, okay. And then this is gonna be the most complicated check here. It targets stuff on the field the opponent controls. Is able to hand. Okay. Okay, so is existing matching card filter location grave and master zone. You can target cards your opponent controls up to the number of level 3 psychic monsters with different names you control and in your graveyard. Raise. Isn't this supposed to be psychic? I think we changed it. Let me check. Yep, pretty sure we changed that. I think it used to be called Psycho, like in the old version. So it's raised psychic, and it's level 3. This was probably the error we saw earlier. Raised psychic, level 3, and it's face up or is not on the field. So the idea here of the check, it doesn't need to extrude itself, by the way. The idea here is that you don't need to do all the checks. You just need to have at least one, and the opponent needs to have at least one target. Whether you have more or not, I guess we'll figure it out. You're gonna figure it out after you activate the effect down here. Yeah, existing target, 1. Okay, city, matching group. Let's location grave. Again, no need to exclude itself. If he's somehow level 3 psychic, when he's summoned, he should be able to count. Get class count, get code. So this is just to get the number of cards with different names. That's part of this group of level 3 psychics. Because you can target up to that number, yeah. And then select target 1 to CT. CT is the maximum we just counted. Category to hand, not destroy, for the ones we target. And then, okay, these two lines, you can condense them into a single line. I have a function for that now. Get target cards. E. Boop. This is exactly the same. And it doesn't destroy, man, it sends them to the hand. Return them to the hand. Yes, so let's take a look at, let's copy compulsory real quick. This line. This one. G. Boop. There we go. Return to the hand. Okay. So this effect should now be okay, I think. This was probably the wrong constant for the type here. Right, and then the other effect, special summon target ignition. You can target one punk in your graveyard, except this guy, special summon it. It's straightforward. Is a punk, not its code ID, so it's a different name than this guy. It can be special summoned. In the graveyard, in your graveyard, so this needs to also check C is controller TP. You need to have room, and it is a target in your graveyard, not just any graveyard. I'm gonna guess that he copied this from Monster Reborn. They can target either graveyard, so that's probably where the issue came from. Category spell summon, get first target, spell summon it. Okay. Now we can test these two together. So we're gonna summon this guy, fusion these two to summon this. Okay. And then we're gonna use him as first we're gonna try the tribute effect, I suppose. So we need more punks in our deck and or our hand. BU. That's acceptable lates though. So let's put these in our deck and these two in our hand. Okay, that's gonna be the first effect. And then on a different run, we're going to use him and him as a synchro material for this. Target stuff the opponent controls, bounce it, and then swing back in our turn again. We're gonna use the revival effect, which is in an opponent. Okay. Okay, so fusion summon this game using stuff in my hand, and now I can tribute him and summon two with different names from hand or deck. In different position. Okay. Just in this one now, right now. Did check? Okay. And now let's do the synchro stuff. So fusion summon. Now you can make 2 attacks during each battle phase. I should be able to use his effect. Target here. And now this can make 2 attacks. There we go, okay. So that works fine. And now let's try the sync. So summon this, fusion, again. And we have, actually let me use 2 of the same. So we can check the different name stuff. Use these 2. Okay, and then during the opponent's turn, we're gonna synchro summon and try to, we should be able to target 2 cards with the bounce effect. So let's see. Let's set this and summon this. Synchro these. Okay, I can use this effect. The hint message is wrong. Hint message should say to hand. Target these 2. This is a fusion effect, don't need to use it. Bounce, okay. And then during our turn, we should be able to revive whatever we want. And we cannot. Why? Oh, that's why, because it's missing. It's missing the location, the range. E2, set range, location, M zone. Basically, this tells the effect. This tells the game it's an effect. It's an ignition effect that can be used while this card is in the master zone. Let's go again. There we go. You can target anything, even this guy. Now, of course, he cannot use his first effect. So maybe that's not a very good play, but anyway. So yeah, the fusion and the synchro seem to work fine now. After the couple of fixes that I just did. So we can move on to the spells and traps. Yeah. Okay, so let's read these first. Okay, while picking. There's 2 continuous spells and 2 normal traps here. So, continuous spell. At the start of the damage step, if your punk battles an opponent's master, destroy the opponent's master. So it's kind of like a Catastrophe. You can only use this effect once per turn. And then if this card in its owner's spell and trap zone is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can make your punk masters unable to be destroyed by battle this turn. Okay, let's see. Activate. I'll put a comment here. Okay, destroy. Fail to go. Battle start is the start of the damage step. Location is zone. Chronos per turn. Condition. Okay, let's see. What do we have here? AT is the attacker and the attack target. And you're checking they both exist. And Punk controller. We could simplify this. So it's checking A, the attacker is a punk and you control it, or the attack target is a punk and you control it and it's face up, blah blah blah. Okay, a whole lot of unnecessary checks. We're gonna do the switcheroo, the flip. So A is the attacker and AT is the attack target, right? If A is controlled by the opponent, then we're going to flip them. What this will do is that if A is the opponent, if the attacker is the opponent, it's gonna make it so A is our card and AT is the opponent's card, basically. So now we know that A is always going to be our card. So we just need to check whether A is a punk, right? So we need to have both of these, both attacker and attack target. And A, oops, extra space here. And A is set card punk. And A is face up. And 18 needs to be controlled by the opponent. 1 needs to be, okay. So both attacker and attack target exist, and your card is a punk, a face up punk, and the other card is controlled by the opponent. That's what this check does. In combination with this, of course. Right, so just G. Right, so you can do the same thing here to simplify this a bit. This way, since A is gonna be our card, we're always going to destroy AT, which is the opponent's. That's the idea here. And again here, this line. Destroy that opponent's monster. We don't need to check our stuff at all. Yeah, okay. So 80 is gonna be the whatchamacallit? The opponent's monster. If it's related to the battle and still controlled by the opponent, destroy it. This is it. And let me get the good old Tenki check, by the way. This line. Okay. And then the second effect, if it's destroyed, if this card in its owner's spell trap zone is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, your punks cannot be destroyed by battle. So single trigger O, down step delay. Yes, it says if destroyed. Condition, reason play is the opponent, so it doesn't work if you destroy it. Reason is the effect. Previous controller is you. Previous location is in the spell trap zone. Seems fine. And then operation. Build comes to a battle. Doesn't take this. Target range master zone. Your punk monsters. During this turn. Okay, it looks fine. Let's look at this one now. And then I'll test the two spells together, I suppose. Crusher Beat. If your opponent activates a card effect targets your punk, target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. Okay, you can only use the effect once per turn. And then if this card is destroyed, same dealio, but your opponent cannot target punks with effects, and they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's effects. So let's see. Activate. Quick? No, it's not a quick effect. It's not a quick effect, it's a trigger effect. Yep, so we need to fix this. Effect type is gonna be field. Trigger O, destroy. Event. Chaining, not chaining. Activating or something. Let me see. Maybe chaining is actually fine. We're gonna test it with chaining. I think it's gonna be fine. Ranger zone. Damage step. No damage step stuff here. Yeah, no damage step stuff here. But it does need the delay flag, which is down here. And it does target, so let me just put this up here. Okay, and then the condition, let's see. Your opponent needs to activate a counter effect that targets your punk monster. Okay, if it doesn't have targeting property, return false. Get chain info, target cards, return G, and it exists, filter. Control the TP, so you control the target, one of the targets. It's a monster, it's face up, and it's a punk. Okay, that seems fine. And this is the effect which targets a card the opponent controls and destroys it. Is existing target, unfilled, destroy. Okay, that looks fine. This is standard destroy stuff, looks okay. Okay, and then this is very similar to the previous card. Let's see. Event destroyed, condition. Previous controller, this is the same. Just do this, it's a little prettier. And then down here is the small difference. Cannot be destroyed by effects. Again, no range needed. This effect is just around the player, so you don't need a range for it. Target is your punk masters. Value. You don't. We have values. We have auxiliary functions for these. Let me get them. TG oval and int oval. So this is the indestructible. So int oval, indestructible by opponent. val is short for value because it goes in the set value. And then we need to change this down here to TGO val, which is the targeted by opponent value for this kind of effect. Ascendant phase, okay, so looks fine. Let's test these two spells. Okay, so first one is the Catastrophe Effect. Let's summon this guy and then give it a master to the opponent and test it. And then if this card is destroyed, your punks cannot be destroyed by battle, so let's skip. Miscast Space Typhoon. And then we're just going to attack into this. Okay, summon this. Summon this on the opponent's side. And then just attack here. And this should trigger. Start with the damage step. Destroy. Okay, looks good. And then we're going to MST it right here and use the second effect. Yes. Okay, and now if I attack, it should not be. This one should not be destroyed. Okay, nice. So that works. What does this do again? Oh wait, if your opponent targets a card of activates a card effect targets your punk monsters, take one card your punk monsters, destroy it, and then protects by targeting and destruction. So we're gonna use this to destroy it again, but we need offerings for targeting and dark hole for the destruction checks for the protection. And to trigger the first effect, we're gonna use offerings again. Okay, let's go. Summon, activate. And I need to put something out first. Activate this, targeting this. And then this triggers. You can target this and destroy. Oop, okay. Okay. And then let's try the protection stuff. So activate. Summon. And then we're gonna MST this. Use the previous effect. Okay, now I cannot target anymore. And it should be protected by Dark Hole as well. There we go, okay. But it should not be protected by battle, because that's the other card. Okay, all good. So the spells are fine too. Okay, so we have the 2 trap cards left, and then we're done. I think the traps are kind of simple. Okay, so let's finish this. Dangerous Gabu. Normal trap. Target one effect master the opponent controls, negates effects. Then if you control a punk, gain LP equal to the targeted master's original attack. You can only activate 1 per turn. Disable. Recover. Category. Cover. Targets. Activate. Free chain. Card once per turn. Target is master zone. The opponent controls it, and filter. And the filter says face up effect. And it's not already negated. Is existing target. Location zone. Okay, that seems fine. This is for the recovery, so let's put it down here. And then when this resolves, let's see. Get the target. If it's related and it's face up and it's not negated, controller one minus instantly. Okay, so this checks if it's controlled by the opponent. Okay, it says negate its effects. It doesn't say negate the opponent's master's effects or something. So even if it doesn't, even if the opponent does not control it, even if you steal it, it should still negate. It should still resolve properly. negate stuff. It's until the end of this turn. Yep. Okay, we set that here. Then, if you control a punk, you can gain LP. No gain, you gain LP. It's not optional. So if it exists, cover filter, face up, master, punk. In your master zone, since you're already checking, the master zone, you don't need to check this. If it's a monster type, because you're checking the master zone, so by default it's a monster. So if you have a punk, face up punk, and not immune. Right, so this is so that because it says negate then do stuff, you need to successfully negate in order to gain the LP, and there's no proper way to do this. You need to check that the target is not immune to the negation effects, pretty much. Break effect, because it says then it's different timing. And recover, get text attack. One thing I just thought of, if the master has 0 original attack, you should not be able to do this. So let me call it attack higher than 0. Okay, looking good. Let's look at the other one, the destroy one. We used it earlier to test something real quick. Now let's do a proper check on it. Target one set card your opponent controls, or if you control a punk monster, you can target one face-up card your opponent controls. Okay? So if you control a punk, you can target any card your opponent controls, basically, whether it's face down or not. If you don't control a punk, you must target a face down. Destroy it, you can only activate one button. Okay. Destroy target, activate free chain once per turn. DSTG. Okay, let's see. Oh, there's a lot of... That seems longer than it should be. What's this doing exactly? FU is a distant matching card filter. Location M zone. Punk monster face up. Again, you don't need this. Same as before. I already explained this. So FU is a boolean. It says true or false depending on whether you control a face up punk monster. Okay, so I'm guessing FU is for face up. And now you're checking if FU is true, it needs to be on the field, otherwise it needs to be face down on the field. And then depending on this, you... Okay. I get the point, I get the thought process, but you're overcomplicating it, as usual. This is Ronda's, right? Yeah, you're overcomplicating it. You can do this with a single filter. Okay, I'm gonna show you. Easy filter. It's just going to take one extra parameter. I'm gonna name it punk. Return C is face down or punk. It's that simple. So this is gonna be a punk parameter, and then all you need to do here is return. It's on the field, of course, and it's a filter punk. Okay, that's basically it. And again here we're going to do the same. And here we're going to put the function, the filter we just made, and then we're going to pass punk here as parameter. Let me fix this too. The targeting part. Local. Don't need this. And then the function, we need to put the filter. And then we need to put punk at the end. Okay, so let me explain this. So punk is either true or false. Whether we control depending on whether we control a face-up punk monster, okay? And then in the existing target check, we check that there is a card on the opponent's field that fulfills its function, and this function says that the card needs to be either face down or punk needs to be true. So, if we don't control a punk monster, okay, punk is gonna be false. So when this check happens, this is always gonna be false, so it needs to be face down for this to be true. So that works fine. If punk is true, so we do control a punk monster, when it does this check, it's gonna see, okay, this is punk is true, so this is always gonna be true for any card, whether it's face down or not, on the opponent's field. So there we go. You don't need to do the crazy multiple ifs, different checks. It's just, yeah, it's just this is enough. The logic is very simple. If you have a punk, you can target anything, so it's always true. It's as if you put true here, ox true, right? If you don't have a punk, this part is gonna be false. So the only way this is true is if it's face down, which is the case because it says target one set card. So that should be fine. Okay, so let's test the traps and then we're done with these ones, at least with these cards. Okay, so this one, it's the negation, and if I control a punk, I gain LP. So it's a punk, and we're gonna summon a monster and just negate it, I guess. Yeah, okay. Okay, and I made a typo somewhere, I suppose. 53, line 53, script 11. Okay. I forgot to replace this with attack. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to set this, summon this. So I'm gonna try with punk monster, I suppose. It could use some hint messages. I'm gonna add them afterwards. So I can target this, negate, gain 1200. Okay, let me add the hints. Right, so let's do set hint message during the opponent's turn only. What are we gonna do? Monsters and phase for sure. Timings. Main end, I don't think it's required. So this is gonna prompt the player whenever it's in the end phase. The end phase is met. The game state goes to the end phase, or when a monster is placed on the field. The idea being that, well, this guy has an ignition effect, right? So if I normal summon him, it's gonna prompt the player to use this in response to the summon before you get to use the ignition effect. This could be relevant to a lot of things, or maybe something you cannot chain to or something. Anyway, right. So let me try without, and I made a mistake here. Is it not set hint message? Set hint. Oh, it's hint timing. My bad. I forgot. Okay, there we go. Now let me try without a punk, so I don't get. I should not gain LP. Normal summon. See, now it prompts me. Target. Negate. Oh, good. Until the end of this turn. Okay, nice. So now we need to test this one. Set card or face up card. So we have enough cards to test it, yeah. Let's go. This one's fine. Okay, so set this. Now without a punk, we can only target face down cards. Action not allowed here. Did I make a mistake? Select 31. 31 is this though. Oh, this should be return. It's missing a return here. Okay. Okay, so right, without a punk monster, I can only target face down cards. So if I summon this guy face up, I cannot use it. I'm holding normal chain, if you notice there. But if I set this, I can use it instead. And then I can target only this, destroy it. Okay. Now let's try with a punk on the field, on our side. Now I should be able to target anything. So the moment I summon this guy, I can use it. If I set this, I can use it. I can target either of them. Let's say I want to target the monster this time. Destroy, boom. Okay. All good. And see how much simpler and shorter the script is. Not convoluted and stuff. The previous one was very convoluted. And overly complex with no reason. I mean, I get the reasoning and the thought process, but it was more complicated than it should have been, basically. It's okay. It's okay though. I realized and I fixed it. So that being said, we are done with the punk cards. Let me put them up, lined up properly. So yeah, we're done with these. How long did it take us? It took me, jeez, an hour and 6 minutes. Okay, I mean it's fair. It's 11 cards. I was expecting about an hour, but they were mostly okay. Like there weren't any real big problems, I don't think. It's not that this last trap, it's not that it was incorrect. It worked fine, but it was just overly complicated. Just there was a much simpler way to do the same thing, which is what I just did here. But it seemed to work. It seemed to be correct from what I saw. It would operate correctly, but it was just very overly complicated and inefficient, I guess. Anyway, enough about that trap. Right, so these are done. I still have the Ecclesia. Where is it? The Ecclesia Retrain. I'm probably gonna do this one next. It's very simple though. And then we have a bunch of new cards that were revealed today. We'll see about those. I don't know about those yet. Actually, I haven't even read them, to be honest. I only read one. The one that says you can search something, a spell trap that says Gemini Monster in the text, which is weird, but it's doable. It's just gonna be hard-coded, but anyway, forget about it. We'll see about the new cards later. Okay, so, yeah, let me end the video now. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna do the Ecclesia first, and then add these cards along with Ecclesia in the game, I think. I'm not sure if the video is gonna be up by then, whatever. Alright, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. Take care, bye bye.